middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Albert Einstein. What can be more difficult than the difficulties we have in love relationships? The whole world seems to be heartbroken. Let's travel around and see what's going on. It's 5 o'clock in the morning in Wellington, New Zealand. A young, beautiful, and attractive woman, Tracy, is slowly trying to sneak out of a man's apartment. Something that isn't new to her. She's holding her breath in an attempt not to wake up the guy she just spent the night with. Now she's outside. She's starting to feel empty. She's asking herself, would I ever have a wish to stay? Would I ever have a wish not to leave? Meanwhile, in Mumbai, India, Sunita is lying on her bed and reading a romantic novel. Her husband is sleeping next to her. She's wondering, after she read something in the novel, why am I together with this guy who I don't love? Would I ever be able to leave him? At the same time, in Boston, America, Philip is sitting on his couch all by himself and playing video games, asking himself, would I ever be able to find somebody who would want to do something together with me? Somebody I would enjoy the company of. These people have something in common. They all feel powerless. They feel that they're doomed to repeat their patterns over and over again. They all can be seen as being intimate in their current lives. Tracy with all the men she sleeps with, Sunita with her husband, and Philip with his video games. But is it the kind of intimacy they need? That being said, makes us wonder, why do we do things that don't align with what we really want? Let's try to find an answer to this question by getting to know a little more about Sunita, Tracy, and Philip. Tracy started sleeping with many men after she was cheated on by her high school sweetheart. She found him having an affair with her best friend, the friend she trusted the most. Now, she gets an unconscious satisfaction in sleeping with these men and showing it to her friend that she can get whoever she wants. Sunita married her husband right after her parents died in a car accident. She was lonely. It was then that her then neighbor, current husband, gave her the support she needed, and before she realized, she was already married. Philip started playing video games intensively when his parents were going through a divorce. The only way for him to escape the chaos going on in the house was to get into his room and play video games all day long. The patterns that hinder us from getting what we really want, they helped us protect ourselves from something unpleasant. They stay with us because we human beings have a tendency to stay with something that we know. And not only that, they give us little satisfactions and gratifications. Tracy enjoys sleeping with many men. Sunita has a supportive husband. And Philip does not have to think about his problems when he's playing video games. Are these little gratifications enough for us? Do we want to stay with something that we know? Or do we want to go for something bigger, something more desirable? The question is, how can we do that? How can we leave the space which is familiar and reach out to something bigger, something new, something unknown? Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Santaina. The people who cannot learn from their patterns are more likely to use them. In my work as a trainee psychoanalyst, I get to meet a lot of people who are trapped in their patterns on an everyday basis. Through their despair, I learned a great deal. In their journey to overcome these patterns, I gained an insight. In the end, it didn't matter. It didn't matter which method I used, what questions I asked, or how much knowledge I had. What really helped them was the safe environment that we achieved by creating a relationship together. When stuck in a pattern, the safe environment helps us and offers us a great space for introspection and retrospection. It allows us to dive into our pasts and get in touch with the emotions that we went through during those unpleasant situations. It helps us understand where a certain pattern has evolved from and gives us a new option of not having the need to use it. If Philip can step out and seek for a safe environment where he can experience the pain and anger that he went through during his parents' divorce, he could step out of the video game world and find the partner he's looking for. Time is an important concept that we need to keep in mind when we are talking about a change that we would like stays with us. Therefore, one last thing. After you all go home and start thinking about your own patterns, the kind of intimacy you're longing for, the way you can get it, I would ask you all to give yourself some time. Thank you.